Visual intrigue is one way that we can engage primary children during singing time. One of my favorite ways to use visual intrigue is with a shadow puppet theater.
Using shadow puppets is such a fun way for the kids to visually see the song in a different way. It also teaches them cause and effect, spatial awareness, and helps them develop motor skills when they get a turn with the puppets. I'm going to show you how to make a really simple, inexpensive shadow puppet theater that folds away for easy storage. You will need a trifold project board, parchment paper, duct tape, a box cutter or craft knife, a straight edge or ruler, a Sharpie or other marker for drawing lines, a pair of scissors, and if you want to paint your theater, some craft paint and a brush. The first step is to open up your project board and lay it face down. My project board's dimensions are 28 inches by 40 inches. On the wings, I'm going to measure 3 inches down from the top and 3 inches up from the bottom and mark it. On the long sides, I'm going to measure 2 inches from the edges on both sides. I'm using my straight edge to draw the cutting lines. For the center, I can't have the opening as wide as the openings on the sides because my parchment paper isn't that wide. Since my parchment paper is only 15 inches wide, I'm going to need a 13-inch opening to allow my parchment paper to overhang a little. After doing some calculations, I figured that I need to measure 7.5 inches down from the top and 7.5 inches up from the bottom to get my opening centered on the board. For the long sides, I'm going to measure 2 inches from the edges again. Now that I have my marks, I'm going to draw my cut lines. Next, I'm using my straight edge and box cutter to cut along my lines. Make sure you're protecting your table surfaces while cutting and always use caution when using a box cutter or craft knife. Now remove the cut piece to reveal your first frame. This will be one of the openings you use for your shadow puppets. Now, cut out your other openings just like you did before and remove the pieces. Okay, we're going to pause here for just a minute. If you wanted to paint your theater, now is the time to do it. You don't want to be painting after you've added the parchment paper. Ask me how I know. Next, get a piece of parchment paper that's roughly the size of your opening. Use scissors to clean up the edges. Align the parchment paper over the opening so that the overlap is even all around. Then, add strips of duct tape to secure your parchment paper. After some experimenting, I have found that duct tape is the only thing that works on parchment paper. No other tape is going to hold. Hot glue isn't going to work either. And you don't have to use nuclear green tape like I'm using. It's just the only thing I could find. The final step is optional, but it will help in the stability of your theater. Take one of the discarded pieces you cut out from one of the sides earlier. Line it up so it spans the distance between the two side frames when opened. And have it extend a little on both sides. Mark it with a pen. Now measure from the bottom up 3 inches on both ends and make a cut a little wider than before, so it can easily slip down and connect the two side pieces. This adds stability and keeps your frames from swinging open too far and your theater from tipping over. Now add a light source behind your theater. I like to use a clip-on desk lamp, but any bright light source will work well. And now your theater is ready to use. This is so simple, takes up very little space when it's folded, and I promise your primary kids will be engaged and will love it.